We'll put up a poll here of where things are as right now. Quinnipiac poll for last Thursday. And it won't surprise you, we have Joe Biden, who hasn't declared, by the way, out in front, with Bernie Sanders and Beto O'Rourke trailing. But the one that I'm really interested in is Pete Buttigieg, right. The mayor, who has put up remarkable fundraising numbers. Now, he's down in the polls right now, but will that last?
I don't think it won't last for very long, because I think that as more and more candidates get in, whenever they sort of come in, they get their little bump. And I think we're talking a lot about him now. He's definitely become sort of the candidate du jour. So I'm not surprised at his fundraising numbers. I'd like to see when they came in. My guess is in the sort of latter part of the quarter, because he's the new hot thing right now, and that's okay. But what's interesting is when you look at these polls and you see Biden and Bernie and Beto, sort of 1, 2, and 3, they sort of represent the past, present, and future course of the Democratic Party in some ways. And I wonder to what extent Mayor Pete sort of is the outlier in this, in some ways bringing the past and the present together.
Well, but Jen, I mean, you know politics well. Are we seeing anything different in politics? Since some of these resumes are a bit thin, and I'll put Beto in that category as well as Mayor Pete. I mean, it's not like they've done an awful lot in public office in their past.
Right. Yet that didn't stop Barack Obama, who was a state senator for about 18 months before he ran for president. We saw how that turned out. Look,
he was in the Senate for 2 years before he ran for president.
Correct. Right. Correct. Look, Mayor Pete, I think it's interesting for these reasons. He's a millennial, so he's going to have that millennial support. But I think Beto also has that. You've also got first openly gay candidate for president. I think that's compelling to some people. And he's also got this plain-spoken way of talking. I would love to see a debate between Mayor Pete and President Trump. I think that would be an interesting conversation. I'm not sure he'll get that far. His fundraising, though, I thought was pretty interesting. They came out today and said he raised $7 million in the first quarter. That's great for a guy who's a mayor of a town in the Midwest. But if you look at what Beto raised in just a day, he raised almost that in just a day. Same with Bernie Sanders, same with some of the other big players.